Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Gonna get started. I do see a 3-6 game running today. It's very tempting to play that game. Normally when they run, it means tons of whale. We should have a bigger bankroll. We don't, so playing that game is a little bit dangerous. That is kind of unfortunate, but it's whatever. We're gonna get there one day. On this flop, we are gonna check call or check raise. Facing this sizing, I feel like we still have to call at least once. Not the worst turn. I feel like I'm gonna check raise very often here, and then we do river a straight. Gonna check. We do win the pot. River straight. Here we are checking back on this board. We flop open. We flop over cards and flush draw, and then we turn top pair top kicker. On this board, I think we're gonna start betting a little bit. And here we are going to overbet this turn. We did get called, and then river paired the king. That's very interesting. I guess we have to just bet relatively big. Only losing to pocket 8s here. Gonna call 10-8 suited in position. He got lucky there. There's really no reason to do what he just did, over jamming the river. Might as well just like double raise or something. So if we have an 8, we might call. Like by doing that, like we're never calling with an 8. So I don't know exactly what he was looking to achieve. We are only calling there with a king or quads, obviously. So I didn't really like the overjam river bet, but A little bit surprised he was coming from a pretty decent regular. I was expecting to know like what to do there. On this board, we're just gonna check fold. Three betting here with ace jack off. We are defending 10 ace suited versus small blind open. I mean 3 bets. Flop a gasha and backdoor flush draw. Definitely gonna continue. When he checked to us, we feel like we have to bet here. Not too much, just like a little bit under hat pot. We'll play the same way if we have a jack. And we do just pick up the pot. A7 suited, we're gonna open here. It's a little bit loose. Most of the time we're folding, but opening once in a while is fine. This guy definitely seems like a recreational player. Not the greatest flop, but we do have backdoor straight and backdoor flush draw. Just gonna start with the small c bet. And here we are 3 betting. And we turn a gutter. Against this guy though, I feel like we probably should just give up. Just don't expect him to fold a queen. Recreational player, like they're normally not here to fold top pairs. Obviously he could have like something else, but with the gosh shot, I feel like if we bet there, we have to go 3 streets. And I'm not sure if we want to do that against somebody we have no history with, never played with him before. Just not sure exactly like how he plays. I guess you can't go wrong if you just go triple barrel, but I decided to take a low variance line there, which is totally fine. Here I got checked the second time. We're gonna start betting a little bit. King 9 off gonna open. Here we are defending with Queen 9 off. Flat top pair and got shot. And we are 3 betting with pocket 10s here. Flatting is okay as well. But the blind has pretty big squeeze percentage, so probably better just 3 bet. If it's like against blind who doesn't really 3 bet that much, then we can consider just calling. This guy is definitely seeing a little bit weaker. I'll just guess he's a recreational player. On this board, we're gonna bet pretty big here. The ace on the river is really bad for our hand. Just gonna check. I'll be happy to just get to a showdown, and then we did. Here, if we get check raise, we have to go with it. He can have like king queen of heart or something. This turn shouldn't change much. We're gonna bump this turn. And then we can even like choose to jam here. Actually, I feel like jamming might be better because he can have like ace king with like king of heart or something that's gonna call us. Let's just go for the over jam. Once he tanks, we have the best hand. And this board is like kind of dangerous to a point that I don't want to just bet like 80. Because we bet 80, we're pretty much pot committed, and then if it's like another heart on the river, and then he jams, it's gonna put us in a pretty difficult situation. So might as well just like over jam, And then he does call with ace queen drawing dead. That's always nice, especially against like a weaker player like that. I feel like over jamming there is probably better because we can wrap like a lot of not flush draw, but he really shouldn't be calling there. Calling with ace queen was just kind of bad because like we'll have like ace king here and then he's drawing dead against the ace king. He didn't even have a heart. So he didn't even have a heart, so he was drawing that against our hand. And if we had like ace king, which is very likely, he raised under the gun, and then we 3-bet, he's under the gun open, so we can very much have ace king here, and then he was drawing that against ace king. So I don't know what he was doing, but good for us. Like sometimes like against a recreational player, they just like never fold top pairs. I don't understand why, but that's why they're fishes. Here ace 4 offsuit is not the hand I want to play 3-way out of position. Gonna just peel with pocket force. Queen 10 here is mostly open. Sometimes we can fold. King Jack off. It's pretty close between folding and calling. I guess we go for a fold here. Sometime 4-betting as well. Some of 5 can consider 3-bet there, but maybe next time. This guy is definitely on the loser side. The guy who paid off, who called like a 2x pot over jam on the turn with ace queen on 3 hard board. Was kind of surprising. That was like way overplaying his hand. Small c-bet against this player. Feel like he's gonna overfold very often. And then if we call, we just know that he's never folding a pair, and then we're just not gonna bluff him ever. And then he go for a huge check raise. That's double the pot, which makes absolutely no sense. Regardless what he has, like that sizing just makes absolutely no sense. On this board, in position, I think we're gonna do a small c-bet. We do face a dunk bet. This player is pretty tight. Just gonna give it to him. Not sure what he's dunk betting there with. He could have a pocket pair. He could have an 8. Here we are 3-betting. Flop open the straight draw and the backdoor flush draw. Here on this board we start with a small c-bet. And I feel like we're gonna raise here. And facing a 4-bet, I think we just jam here with this sizing. Here we face a 3-bet. That's a little bit rough. He used a pretty large sizing as well. Chop chop here. Not sure if we can fold yet. Gonna call. And then pretty good turn. We pick up extra equity. Here we're starting with a check. And he does check it to us. This is definitely not a turn that we want to bet because he could be check jamming this turn, We are check calling, and then we turn 2 pair. Just gonna check raise this turn. We are checking back. Hopefully we can get there. We cannot, which is fine. And diamond gets there. And he overjams. Good for him. So I guess we did a good thing that we didn't bet the turn, because he was definitely planning on check jamming on the turn. This is an easy fold with 6 high. And here we are just gonna check. Not exactly sure we're gonna call. $6 we're definitely calling. Here facing check raise, we're just gonna fold. This is a little bit weird. I thought we had suited. Offsuit is either 3-bet or fold. Shouldn't really be flatting there. And facing a 3-bet from under the cutoff, we're gonna peel with king queen off, king queen suited. Flop open in this straight draw. Here we turn 2 pair. Against this player, I feel like we can go for a check raise. I'm gonna start betting a little bit. Actually, we're gonna use a larger sizing here. And he does bet, and then we're gonna check raise to like 35. And river is a jack. I don't think he ever has a jack here, so we're just gonna use like a super small sizing, and hopefully he get to fold like ace king. He does call with ace high. That's a good call. Just a non-believer. He should be folding ace there, because we play jacks exactly the same way, but it's whatever. Against the fish player, sometimes they'll overcall and then they'll get there. They'll catch our bluff every now and then, but it's totally okay, because overall we are still gonna be pretty profitable playing that way. I was a little bit surprised we called ace 7 though, because interesting. Because we targeted ace king to fold by using that smaller sizing, but it's whatever. Bet and check raise, we're just gonna fold ace king high. Here we are peeling with pocket tens in position, and we flop another set. That's always good. Oh, against the same player as well. We're probably gonna stacking again. I'm gonna use a pretty large sizing bet on this flop. And he does fold. Unfortunately, he was against the same player who overplayed the ace queen suited. On this turn, we're definitely gonna barrel. And we're gonna barrel the river if he calls. We are gonna 4-bet here. This guy never 3-bets, but we're still gonna 4-bet with ace queen here. I mean, flat calling isn't the worst, but I like 4-betting here. Here we face a 3-bet from small blind. Just gonna flat, especially after the big blind flat. We can consider doing like a squeeze here. Against unknown player, we're just gonna check on this turn. Could definitely do a 4-bet, but like his 3-betting range is pretty strong, so I think calling and see a flop is probably smarter. Just gonna give up here. Queen 4, okay. This is an interesting spot. I think we're the only one who can potentially have a 10, but since big blind already called, I guess we just have to just have to fold. Curious to see what they have though. On this dry flop, I feel like we could do some check raising. Could check call. Either way works. Pretty good turn. We actually gonna lead this turn. And he does call. He could have flush draw here, and we're just gonna check it to him. He has king 10. Nice hand. Played pretty well there. He didn't overplay his top pair, like a lot of people would do. I think like ACR has like a tournament running or something. That's why there's a 3-6 game running. Really want to play that game, but with our bankroll, we shouldn't be playing that game. Maybe one day when we have like 30 grand. That's when we play that game. Here against the fish who overplays the ace queen suited, definitely gonna 4-bet. I think he's 3-betting pretty light here, so we have a bottom pair and not flush draw here. Gonna start with a small c-bet, and here we are definitely gonna put in a 4-bet and then call a jam from either of them, obviously with aces. Just pick up the pot on this turn. Feel like we can use an overbet sizing. We do have bottom pair, and then we do have not flush draw if we get called, and it's gonna put a lot of pressure on him if he had like ace jack or like smaller. And we do just take it down. That's always good. Ace-5 raised under the gun facing a small blind 3-bet from an unknown player. Just gonna muck. Here we flop bottom 2 pair. Gonna use a larger sizing on the flop. Here facing a 3-bet from cutoff. I think we mostly just 4-bet and get it in. And here we are gonna bump this turn. 1.5x pot, and here we can go for a 3-bet or we can just flat. This guy doesn't open that much, so we are just gonna call. On this board, I feel like it's mandatory to like just putting a c-bet. And here on the river, I am not sure if we should be betting. I think we should be betting though. Let's just go with like a 60 sizing. Hopefully like he has a queen. We are check calling this flop. And we are checking this turn. On this board, I think we just give up against a player like that. On this turn, we are only having a gut shot, and our ace or queen might not be good. So we are drawing to like maybe 4 jacks. Out of position, we just fold. And here we are gonna check the river. And I don't see the reason for this. It's the same as betting like 80. But maybe he river like a queen or something with pocket queens, but I'm not sure, but good for him. Flop top pair. Also the backdoor second flush draw. Definitely going for a check raise if he bets. And we just pick up the pot right away. Ace 6, we're gonna put a 3-bet here. queen off, definitely gonna 3-bet. Versus the button open at small blind. Very standard. A fish in the blind. Pocket 8's facing a 3-bet. Mostly just calling. Here we face a 4-bet with king queen. We can jam sometimes actually. We don't have enough data against the player, but I feel like suited here we probably jam. We have to check call at least once because he can have like ace queen, ace jack suited. We just fold here against an unknown player or someone we don't have that many hands with. On this turn we are just gonna fold. Could have been bluffed, but part of the game. It's okay to get bluffed. Pocket kings in the big blind with the fish on the button. I feel like this is the hand we have a good chance to stack him. If he has a real hand, that is. We're gonna 3-bet here with ace 6 suited. Definitely 3-betting him. On this turn, just don't see him folding an ace ever. Don't see him folding that hand on the turn either, so ace queen suited, we are going to 3-bet here. Gonna make it a little bigger. Obviously we're playing a little deeper. Defending with pocket deuces. If the fish player get in, if it's heads up, then we are probably still gonna peel a flop. And facing a 3-bet, we just have to fold. Always gonna attack a fish's big blind. Here sending. This guy is gonna be a recreational player. We do have a not backdoor flush draw. Good enough for a c-bet. We can pick up some straight draw on the turn as well. And then ace does hit our range pretty hard. Ace 6 suited there. Just decide to fold. I don't know why, but mostly should be opening, but decide to fold there. Not a big problem. And he's tanking over a $3 bet. Just gonna defend. Even though queen 3 suited is not the greatest hand, but to play out of position, but we only need $2.50 more. Ace 9 suited there in the small blind, it's either 3-bet or fold. Decide to go for the fold. Three betting here with queen jack suited, facing button open. Just never gonna cold call in small blind. Here we flop top pair, we don't have a club. Just gonna start with a small c-bet. Flop an ace here against a relatively tight player. Very small sample size, but gonna start with a small c-bet, see what he does. Pretty dry flop. He either have an ace or nothing. Pocket ace is under the gun. Hopefully we get 3-bet by the fish. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a hand. And we do get 3-bet by the second fish. Gonna obviously put in a 4-bet here. And folding ace jack here, facing a 3-bet from the big blind. I don't think this guy's a fish, I just haven't changed the tag yet. Seems like a pretty solid regular. I think he did like something questionable when we first played, and then I just thought like he's a weaker player, but later I realized he's not as bad. But like a lot of those players, I just didn't bother to change their tags because I recognize their name, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe for you guys, it's a little bit tougher to see, but I normally just explained over the stream that this particular player is no longer a fish, something like that. Opening kings on the button. We're gonna let the turn. On this board, we are probably just give up. It connects with his range pretty well. On this board, we are starting with a small c-bet. He doesn't really connect with this board that well. He can have a jack, he can have flush draw when he calls. Not really anything else. When he called the flop, we just gonna barrel this turn using an overbet sizing. If he calls, then he obviously have a jack. I don't see flush draw check calling this bet out of position. And we do pick up another pocket kings here in the small blind. How are you guys doing tonight? It is Wednesday. We got 2 more days to go for the week. This is a great situation. Under the gun raise and 2 flat callers. And then if we raise like super big, we are not gonna get the credit we normally would get. So I'm just gonna pump it to like 30. Actually, I like 35 more. Like even bigger. Just feel like we're trying to steal the pot, and then he's gonna jam with like jacks. Bet and 3-bet, pocket tens. I guess we can go for a cold call, but it's not the greatest. Cold 4 isn't that bad, but it's gonna put us in a lot of difficult this situation. And the original raiser is from middle position, so I'm gonna give him more credit for a hand. Actually, just gonna fold here. Just don't like the dynamic of the hand. Pocket tens out of position against a uncapped, like basically 2 uncapped ranged. We can call 4 there, like I'll say like half the time, and the other half the time folding isn't a big issue. Facing under the gun raise and the cold caller, ace 4 offsuit is not the hand we want to call with out of position, even though pot odds is really good. But there's not that many good flop for us. Unless we flop like trip 4s or like a straight or something, but it's very unlikely. And we're out of position against 2 players, so suited definitely gonna call. Offsuit ace just like small to medium offsuit ace just doesn't play that well. And a lot of people make a lot of mistake playing those hands or overplaying those hands or playing those hands too often. It's gonna cost them a lot of money in the long run. This guy's definitely a recreational player. Gonna start with a small c-bet. I feel like he's folding a lot on this board, and he does. Here we of course gonna see a flop with 10-9 suited. Is there a point for us to squeeze here? I just don't see it because 10-9 suited plays very well post flop, and we shouldn't be 3-betting there to squeeze, just to jeopardize our chance to see a flop. If any of them have a real hand, then we are pretty much gonna get 4-bet off our hand. Just check folding. We are having 10 high. On this board, we are just gonna use a super small c-bet. Peeling a flop with suited ace. We flop the nut flush. Always nice. Checking back this turn because there's just not that many hand that he'll be check calling with. That's gonna fold the turn. Definitely betting the turn. And we are folding the river. Here we are just gonna range betting. We raise under the gun. We have tons of ace king, ace queen. And unfortunately here he doesn't have anything and doesn't even try to go for it. Thanks for liking the channel. You guys are extra quiet today. What is going on? No one wanna say hi to me? How are you guys doing today? Opening with kings, mid position. Here, when flush get there on the turn, we're gonna bet pretty big. First we can wrap the flush. Second, if he has like ace of diamonds, he's gonna continue. And then here we can just check call and then let him bluff. I'm just gonna call. He does have a better queen, unfortunately. Surf Z, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you guys? How are you doing today? Under the gun race, we have ace king suited, definitely a 3-bet. Ace 9, we're just gonna call in position. Flop trip kings, probably a hand that we wanna fast play on this board. Obviously, we're losing to king jack, but if that's the case, we're losing our stacks. I was gonna 3-bet there, but I realized he only have half buy-in. We are calling once with ace high. Over here with the ace king situation, like on that kind of flop, we can either go big or go like a small c-betting sizing. Either way works. Just different strategy. Obviously, we can mix it in. It's got 22% 3-bet rate, even though it's a very small sample size. But we are probably not folding ace jack suited to 1 3-bet. Check calling here with the backdoor not flush draw. And we are definitely gonna check raise this turn. And we do flop ace. Losing to ace king and ace queen. Definitely raising a little bit here. And then we're gonna just bluff the river. When you check the flop, I feel like we're gonna bet the turn. We just pick up the pot, and here on the turn he double pot on the king, which is pretty interesting because obviously the king hit our raising range more than his calling range. So I feel like he's doing this, either he had a 6 or he has like something really good, like a draw that's really good, like 9-8, 9-10, like 9-8 of clubs, 9-10 of clubs, something like that. But I don't think we can fold just yet. But this is definitely a little bit tricky. Trying to figure out what he's doing this with. I guess it's very polarizing. It's either like a 6 or, but isn't a 6 want to check here though? I guess we have to call and then call down the river just because I feel like he has more combo draw here. And then obviously rivering the king helps a lot. Like now we have literally the nuts. And if he had like a flush draw, which is like very possible because I feel like he had a combo draw here, we're just gonna raise a little bit, like 28. Because if he had a 6 or flush, he might call this raise. I feel like he's just gonna fold. But we're gonna try to get like some extra value. Yeah, he's just gonna fold here almost like all the time. Wednesday, Thursday here. I guess you're from like Asia or like Europe or something. Probably Asia, I think. Euro time is like a little slower than here. I am not exactly sure. Just gonna fold to this c-bet. Probably shouldn't fold ace nice offsuit on the button, but it is whatever. And opening pretty loose here. This guy's seen like 3-betting quite often, even though it's small sample size. Pocket nice here, we can go for a 4-bet or we can just flat. And here we are 3-betting against this guy. He just seemed like extremely loose. Just gonna call. 4-betting isn't the worst. It is the first time that he called a 3-bet. On this flop, I feel like we are going for a small c-bet. If it gets called, we just like shut down. On this board, I think we just fold. Just don't see him having anything worse. Like maybe pocket 8s and 7s are the only 2 hands I beat. I don't even think 7s 3-bets. So we're only beating like pocket 8s. I'm just gonna fold. And here, facing a huge raise, pretty clear fold. That guy's definitely seeing like a little bit crazy. Definitely way too aggressive. I don't mind that, but we just need to have like a different strategy against a player like that. Yeah, quiet, good to watch. Thank you. Here facing a 4-bet from under the gun, well, ace king off is like it's pretty close between jamming and calling. Never folding just yet. I'm trying to feel like this guy 4-bets. He doesn't really 4-bet from under the gun that much. I guess we just see a flop. Pretty good flop here. We do have a gotcha and then flush draw. We're just gonna fold this flop bet. Might be a good flop. I'm not even exactly sure if we flop an ace or king, we are good, because he could have aces and kings there, so it's a little bit confusing. On this turn, we are gonna bet. I don't think he ever checked back an ace on this kind of texture. Here facing a 6x raise, it's just kind of weird. Just gonna full pocket 5s. That's just too much of a 3-bet. And then here we are gonna value bet the river. Maybe just $10. I feel like he has like jacks or queens here. And he doesn't even call that. You don't need any good luck. What's up, Derek? Good luck on the table tonight. Got your string up. Why I fall asleep. How's life treating me? It's pretty good. There's definitely something weird happening today. One of our normal viewers he just started messaging me on Discord and then sending me bunch of his baby hands. And then I'm the type of guy who don't really want to focus on like the hands that you got baby because it doesn't really help your game. So I gave him some advice trying to get his head straight. Basically just telling him to focus on focus on finding out if he did like anything wrong or like any kind of leaks that could potentially cause his downswing, instead of just sending me like 20 hands that how bad he got sucked out. Like I don't really care. And then from a coaching standpoint, I mean he sent me I think he's a tournament player, and then he sent me bunch of his hand that he got sucked out, 2-outer, 3-outer in a tournament. But I'm not the tournament expert, so if he's like struggling with cash game, I can very much just coaching for a few hours, and then pretty sure I can turn around his game. But he plays tournaments, so I wasn't a tournament. I'm not good enough at tournament to be giving advice. So I just basically just give him some pep talk, like such as like you really shouldn't be focusing on the hands that you got bad beat, and he just kept going at it, saying that ACR is rigged. Like he's always losing here. He always lose like two outer, 3-outer all the time. And then I'm like, that's not true. But he kept believing that he always lose with against like 2-outers or something. And at the end, I was like, I really don't know what to say, because I don't function like that. If I'm losing, I figure out like why am I losing, versus just blaming the RNG or blaming like I've been running like shit, because that doesn't help you in long run. I mean, finding out what's going on and then find out what's your leaks in your game, that helps you. Sending bunch of baby hand to like somebody that doesn't do anything. We are gonna just check call because we are not worried about the turn too much at all, since we have the flush draw as well. So I basically like and then I try to like helping out in terms of like getting him just like making him, how do I put this? So I try to talk to him and then basically try to get his mindset right. However, like he wasn't like appreciating it. He kept repeating himself, saying like, oh, ACR is rigged, like I'm always losing to 2-outers, 3-outers. Against this guy, I think we have to call and PO a flop, or even like a 4-bet and jam, because he just like, I think we just jam here. He's 3-betting like way too often, and ace queen's like way better than his 3-betting range, so we actually gonna jam here. This is like not an everyday play, but we're gonna go for it just because this guy is 3-betting way too much, and then we're gonna make a stand somewhere, let him know that we're not gonna let him push around, and then we do just pick up the pot. I actually expected us to just win the pot there, because somebody who 3-bet like 34%, 35% of the time, I mean, they just don't have it that often, especially when we open on the button. It just feels like he's squeezing hard. So yeah, that was the story of the guy who like he's a regular viewer of my channel, and I basically tried to help him with the better mindset, but he wasn't taking it. He just kept repeating himself, saying like, oh shit, like ACR is rigged, like this game is fucked up, like blah blah blah. I have proofs of how many hands I got sucked out, like blah blah blah. I just told him, and I even showed him a variance website where like it's gonna tell you like how bad you can run if you're like a 2 BB per 100 or like 5 BB per 100 winner, like how bad you can potentially run, something like that. And then he wasn't even having it, and then at the end I'll be like if you keep talking like this, I can't really help you, especially like I'm a pretty busy man during the day. I still try to talk to him for like a good 30 minutes, and he just wasn't having it. And then I'm like, okay, so at the end I was like, whatever, if you keep thinking like this, I'm not gonna help you, and then I cannot help you. And if you're like, you want to get better in tournaments, you should go like hire a tournament coach, because I am not good enough to give advice or even like coach for tournament plays. Cash game, I'm totally capable of doing that, but tournament I'm just not good enough to be giving advice. So basically what happened was he just kept repeating himself, right? And then I just kind of like ignore him. And then, I mean, at the end, I still try to be nice and talk to him. And then I realized he blocked me and then unfriended me on Discord. I'm like, dude, what did I get myself into, man? I was trying to help the man, but he was just not having it. So I guess like there are hundreds of players who make a living by playing tournament poker on ACR, and like regular winners, like years after years, month after month. Like when you say that the site is rigged, that basically means that you're taking away all the credits that those players work for. Like those regular crushers, tournament pros, I mean, they are just better than you. That's why they are constantly winning. Like, do they get sucked out? Absolutely. They just don't talk about it. And yeah, that's pretty much the story. So somebody who's losing, complaining about the RNG, it's kind of like a joke, because a lot of people who are crushing it, whether it's cash game or tournaments, and as a losing player calling out like RNG is wrong or like the site is rigged, it's kind of like take away all the credits from the winning players who work hard at their game and then get to that level. You know, they probably spend tons of effort to get to that level. And then by you, like a losing player, saying that the site is rigged, blah blah blah, it's just kind of like it's taking away like all the hard work those winning players, you know, put in to get there, right? Sending suck out hands is pretty bad. Yeah, I tried to helping out, man. I mean, it was all okay, but like I don't really mind like everything, but here we are just gonna bet and get it in on the river. But I mean, it's okay to like not understand I was trying to help him, but like blocking me and unfriend me at the end is like, why? Like I didn't do anything wrong or do anything disrespectful to you. I was just helping you and telling you the truth. You should get a coach and then have a tournament pro take a look at your game. We are jamming here. He doesn't have that many 9 in his range. So it's like, I mean, alright, I understand you're frustrated because I'm calling you out for like being a losing player, but like I am trying to help you. And I mean, if you don't have the realization that you are losing because like maybe you have some leaks or like some hands you're playing wrong, then you're just gonna stay a losing player forever. We face a dunk bet here, absolutely gonna call. But since we have pocket tens, we block a lot of his bluffing range, so we're just gonna call and proceed the hand carefully. Facing a half bet on the turn, definitely gonna call. Obviously, he can have some like flushes, but our hands are too good to fold. And if you bet again on the river, we're just gonna fold. He almost always have it if he barrel the river. Oh, this guy's still tanking. Holy shit! I didn't even notice. He probably has like tens, jacks, queens. I don't think queens. Queens probably 4-betting. He probably have like jacks or tens here. We are checking back. Ace queen. 3-bet and jam. Interesting. Just gonna fold. He probably doesn't have the strongest hand, but he do just take it down. When he's tanking this long, I'm hoping that he's gonna call with jacks and tens. But whatever. Bad B are definitely part of the game. You're rakeback or elite benefits. Rakebacks. 100% agree with you. Part of life and poker is about taking responsibility for what's not going right. ACR has flaws, I totally agree, but it's definitely not rigged. Like if you're complaining about like RNG, like how bad you run, like they're benefiting the, you know, the losing the bad players. I mean, that's just That is just wrong. Small c bet here on this board. I don't ever think he has ace king here. So ACR has its problem, like it did have like some botting problem a few years ago, but they got it fixed. And they do have some other issue. However, it is not RNG. Like RNG is like 100% fair. Here we're just gonna peel with pocket threes. And we are check calling this flop. Nasang. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Welcome to the stream. And defending with queen a off, and we're just folding here. So it's really annoying. Like so for me, I'm the type of player who's like not just a player, right? I'm just the type of person. If I do something in let's say real life, right? If I have a job, right, and then you always get those people who are working at a job, and then he always complains about everything, and then complain to coworkers, blah blah blah, like how big of a dick is the manager and blah blah blah. Like I'm the type of person who like I would not complain. I would just do my job better than everyone, and then I would get promoted and then replace that manager's job. That's just me. Like I would just do like everything I can to get to a better, bigger, like a higher position than whoever I feel like is a shitty manager. I'll just do that. We are calling ace queen off. We're facing small blind 3-bet. This hand's a little bit tricky, but I feel like we probably have to call with jack 10 suited in position. Folding is definitely a little bit too weak. Here with the ace of spade, we'll continue. Without a spade, I think we just fold, especially facing this sizing. On this flop, we are checking behind, and we turn a flush draw. Probably raising very often here. He check again. We're gonna start betting. Maybe like half pot. So yeah, I'm the type of person who's just gonna like I'll work you, and then I'll outsmart you, and then replace you if I feel like you're not capable. Same thing for poker, right? Instead of complaining like how bad you run, like focus on what you can control, right? Once you get it in, like once you get it in good, then you're good, right? You don't worry about like, I mean, of course sometimes you get sucked out, but like if you get it in good, like you did a good job, and then you shouldn't be focusing on like the results, like how like how often I get sucked out, like those kind of shit, like it's not gonna help you. I mean, finding out like where you can improve, like those are the type of things that it's gonna help you. Open-ended straight draw. Interesting. Raising is okay. Calling is okay as well. I guess we go for a call here. Turn is pretty good. Another ace makes it less likely to have an ace, so we're gonna barrel this turn. And we are checking back. Gonna bluff the river. We can be doing this with the jack, but he does have a 6. That's unfortunate. And river is the diamonds. Definitely not the hand that we should be betting the river with. Just hoping that he has something like pocket 6s. Ace deuce. That is the best hand. Did you play full time? I don't play full time. Like I'm only playing on string now, just for fun. I used to be a pro about, I'll say 8 to 10 years ago. I play poker for a living for 4 years. It's in my bio. If you have time, you can go read it. But not playing full time doesn't mean that I am worse than the pro player. Like we went over this yesterday on stream too. Like professional player meaning that you're playing poker for a living, but doesn't necessarily mean that you are a better player versus a recreational player or a semi-professional player. So it's really about your win rate. That indicates how good you are. Check calling once. Small c bet here. Yeah, well, I mean, hating to hearing the truth is one thing, but like blocking me is another thing. Like I have been like you if you guys have been following me, right? I'm like super chill in terms of like how I play poker or like how I explain logics and then how I go through like downswings and shit like that. Like we have a Gashan backdoor flush draw. I guess we can call once. Definitely folding after this turn. So like I don't think I deserve to be blocked and unfriend. I was kind of shocked that he did that because I'm like I didn't really say anything to offend you or anything. I was just trying to help you by telling you the truth on what you should be doing. Like if you play tournaments, I basically told him like I coach cash games, but I don't coach tournaments, so I cannot help you on that because I'm not good enough at tournament to be coaching somebody. But you can definitely get like a tournament coach. There are plenty of resources that you can do. So go for that, you know, like a tournament coach is gonna help you find out like your leagues and something like that. What the fuck is going on? Like we can have aces and kings here. Hello, like what the hell are you doing, man? It's just a crazy guy, dude. Whatever. Rahu, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? So yeah, that was it. But yeah, getting blocked and deleted was like, what the fuck, dude? That was kind of shocking to me. We are definitely gonna 4-bet with ace king suited. I mean, obviously, like, I don't know what he was expecting from me. That's a thing. Like, he sent me a bunch of hands that he got sucked out with. Like, what did he expect me to say? Like just kind of like agree with him that, oh shit, like ACR sucks, man. Like you totally just got rigged. Like, I guess if he's like speaking to like another like losing player, that's probably what's gonna happen. Like, oh shit, the side is rigged. Like, fuck this shit. Like, fuck this side. Like, it's stupid. Blah blah blah. Like, you know. Here we are gonna 3-bet. And here the spades get there. It's a little bit tricky. I guess we can continue to barrel here. We can still get value from like a king, and then he can have like queen jack for a straight draw, and then we can have like tons of flushes actually. On this river, I feel like we should probably go for a value bet if he checks again. Definitely gonna value bet. Just gotta go for 50 because I feel like he has some kings here, and we can be wrapping like some queen jack, I guess, or like ace high type of hand. If we get raised here, it's an easy fold, like snap fold. Like he always has it. But it's not gonna stop us from trying to get value. That type of mindset is why you're successful. Gossiping at work is easy, replacing the manager is quite difficult. Yeah, but most of the people, right? Most people just complain, and then of course you're gonna find those coworkers where they're gonna complain with you. They can be like, dude, man, like our manager was such a dick today, blah blah blah. Mossteve123, thanks for follow. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Yeah, you're gonna find those coworkers where they're just gonna be like complaining with you, like, fuck, dude, like our manager, like he's such a dick, blah blah blah. But those are pretty much the same type of player who's gonna stuck where they are for a very long time. Like if you look back like 10 years after, like 10 years later, I mean, they are probably still at the same position doing exactly the same shit they're doing, versus somebody who's not a complainer, just gonna, you know, try to work your butts off and then like try to get there. And then 10 years later, he might be like a senior manager already, or even like a vice president or something like that. Versus like somebody who's always gonna complain with you, like those guys normally stay exactly where they are. And then it's funny how like poker works the same, works similarly, right? If you when you go on a bad stretch, whether it's downswing or like just running bad in general, like if you don't focus on your own problem, and then you are focusing on like the hands that you got bad beat with, like you're playing the wrong game, bro. Like it's not gonna help you improve. I mean, you're getting aces versus kings, or you're getting aces versus pocket fives, and you lose. Okay, like what's the point of reviewing that hand? What's the point of sending that hand to somebody else? Like any winning player, they're just not gonna give a shit. Because it happens to everyone, right? All the winning players, they just don't want to hear your bad beat story because it happens to everyone. And then if you guys have been following me, like we have gone through that stretch in July where nothing goes right? We ran 25 buy-ins behind EV, etc. However, we did recover that, and in August we did run like 15 buy-ins above, right? So it always come back and even things out. But it's very difficult if you're like focusing on the wrong thing. You're just not gonna. We can go for a check raise here. We can check call, and then check call the river. Probably do that. Our hands is like pocket sevens, pocket nines, pocket tens, something like that. So our hands is pretty faced up. But he decided to give up. That's always good. Appreciate that. I guess we have obviously Parker is one of the best regulars, and he pretty much I'm not 100% sure, but I am pretty sure that he respects our game. So gonna get some respect sometimes from the better regulars. Yeah, so obviously, if your poker buddy is just like you, like complaining about bad beats all the time, I mean, those are probably the losing players. That's just gonna stay losing forever, I guess. Here we are gonna 4-bet and get it in. Never folding, cut off button versus small blind. We have the widest range. And checking back on this flop. Pinning Heart X, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Ko Uvila Poker, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you are enjoying it so far on this Wednesday night. I'm just gonna check back. Pocket 4 is good. It's okay, small pot. We don't have to go for every pot. Small c-bet on this flop with jacks. Pretty dry flop. He could have like king queen and king jack. We block king jack, so the only hand he can continue here is probably king queen. Ace king I expect him to 4-bet pre-flop. Facing this check raise, we are not folding yet because, like I said, his only hand is like king queen. Obviously he can have some sets, but we are not folding yet. King queen just turned 2 pair. I think that's the only possible hand that he has. I don't see him ever having ace king here, and then he can have some pocket 5s and pocket 3s, but mostly still like king queen or just like a bluff with like pocket 10s or pocket 9s or something like that. Sometimes like a pocket somewhere between like pocket 6s to like pocket 10s will check raise this flop. Just thinking that we don't have ace king. On this turn though, we are checking back very often because we're gonna check back all our ace king. We might even check back pocket aces here because king queen is definitely in his range. And if he bet the river, he has king queen. And if he doesn't bet the river, he's more likely to have like a middle pocket pairs that we beat. Hopefully not pocket nines though. Pocket nines is definitely betting this river. So if he bets the river, we are beat. And if he checks, I feel like we're gonna win the pot. K Deuce AAA, thanks for follow. Big Papa Deuce, thanks for follow. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Facing this bet, I just don't ever think we are winning here because in his eyes we have ace king here. Minimum, we can have some ace king, we can have some aces. By using this sizing, he is definitely not bluffing. He wants value, so which means he has king queen here or even pocket nines. But those are the two possible hands. He can't have anything else. If he's bluffing, he's not gonna use this sizing, and then if he's bluffing, he's probably just gonna barrel the turn. So we are folding here, and here we flop a stray. Just gonna bet. Pretty good turn. Gonna barrel this turn pretty hard. 3-bet against 2 players. The flop doesn't have a heart. Pretty bad flop for our 3-betting range. Gonna barrel this turn super big. Gonna go for like a 1.5x pot, and we do just take it down. Is coaching for free? Saw your Facebook page. It's not for free, but I charge a really cheap rate, and some of my viewers have. I think almost every single person I have coached had pretty good results so far, and then I actually don't have that much time to coach. So, and then I'm like, my coaching rate is like super cheap. I only charge like $50 per hour, which is like extremely cheap. It's not even worth my time, honestly, because I make like somewhere between 120 to 150 just by playing. But I do enjoy coaching a lot, and I do enjoy helping people out. So after like just 2 to 3 sessions, if I see like if my client has like significant improvement, then that just gives me joy that I'm not gonna get from just winning. Like if I just crush the game and then gets like 150 per hour for like 2 hours, that's not gonna get me any joy. But if I coach somebody and then he change from like a slight losing player to like a winning player, that gives me joy. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. Ace nice suited, just gonna fold, and we are calling here. Unfortunately, on those 3 tables, we are really like not connecting with the flop that often. Hopefully that will change pretty soon. We flop top pair. Pretty draw heavy board with 2 clubs and obviously a lot of straight draws. We're gonna use a larger sizing here. And here we are just gonna fold. The only tax works is the tax, I think. This is the only thing that works. I haven't put in anything else. I feel like the bot is kind of annoying because it just randomly blocks my viewers if they're like typing too fast or something like that. So I don't really like the bot, but you know, it's good to have the bot sometimes, just in case people are wondering the tags if they're here for the first time. Playing against 2 players, suited king is definitely worth to see a flop. Blind versus blind. Just gonna open ace queen off. And on this flop, obviously we're just gonna check fold. Our hand has absolutely no equity. Plays pretty poorly on this board. When check, check, check. Interesting. When we went check, 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 I feel like we could probably bluff this turn. Ace 5. I'm leaning more towards the 3 bets. On this board, we are using a larger sizing C bet, and we're gonna try to bluff this turn. check raise on this board. We do block ace of diamonds, which makes him less likely to have it. On this river, we are definitely gonna barrel because he has tons of missed flush draw, missed straight draw. Unless he have like 7 8 specifically, but most likely he just doesn't have anything. And we're just gonna bet and wrap a queen. Wow, okay, so he checks with king queen, but he does have a flush draw. That's why his hand is like pretty strong. So over here, we're just gonna fold because we have ace of diamond, so it just makes it less likely that he's bluffing. Because ace of diamond is definitely like ace high flush draw is definitely something that people like to check raise bluff with. Since we block that, it's kind of like it's more likely that he has a value range versus like a bluffing range. Over here, the king queen hand, actually I have no problem with it because he does have top pair and then a pretty big flush draw. So it's okay to check back the turn, and then he did induce us to bluff and then get those extra money. Do I regret it? No. I'll always do it. When flop goes check, 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 we just have to go for it. Definitely not someone who's gonna give up that often. Defending with king jack suited. Opening with ace jack offsuit. Here we flop a gutter ball with the backdoor flush draw. And here facing a 3-bet, we are just gonna 4-bet and get it in. Hopefully we are good. And we turn the nuts. Just gonna bet and good luck to us. Send hand. We got called fairly quickly here. Any jack is a stray. I'm trying to figure out if he has a jack here. Most likely he has a queen. But is it the type of player who's gonna turn a queen into a bluff? I think we're just gonna go for check raise because I don't think betting here, like if we bet like $10, it just, I guess we could like have bet $10 and then get that extra value. But if he has a jack there, we're gonna make like a tons of money by check raising. So we got a little bit greedy there, but it's fine. I mean, he could have like some air there that missed, and then he's gonna try to bluff. With an ace, I'm not even sure if he's gonna call river bet. Maybe he'll call like $10, but that's about it. So instead of getting $10, I'd rather check raise and then potentially make like 50. That was my logic. Joe Daddy Cuban, thanks for the follow, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Easy night, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Mosey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Queen Jack offsuit. Here we are starting with the small c-bet, and here it's pretty close between a squeeze and just a call. I think we just go with the call. On this board, club gets there on the turn. We really don't beat that many hands anymore. Just gonna check back. And another clubs comes. We do have the deuce of club. I'm pretty happy just check it down. And we lose 2 pocket fives, which is fine. On this board, we are not gonna continue. Ace 5 suited in small blind. If he opens, we're 3-betting. Just gonna make it 4x. So does ACR work in any state? Yes, it does. It is US player friendly. Using a larger sizing here, almost gonna pot it. This board connects with all kind of hands, and then this is just a terrible turn. We are just gonna barrel this turn as like use up like a blocker sizing or something like that. But that is definitely a bad turn. I think like he has the best hand here very often, but that's not gonna stop us from betting position. Or we can just pick up the pot. That's always nice. On this pretty dry board, gonna start with a small c bet. I think we are c betting a little more often than usual today. He's tanking the big blind. I don't know why. Not the greatest flop for queens. I think we are checking back very often on this flop, just because he has tons of two pair, and straight draw. So after this flop, it's kind of like a two streets hand. We're never gonna get three streets of value, so it's better to just pot control it a little bit. Facing a small bet, we're gonna call once and then see what happens. 9 is pretty not a bad card, because if he has like 10-8, 10-7, 9 just give us the best hand. If you don't mind me asking, what made you decide cash game over tournaments? I actually still play tournaments regularly, like Queen 6, that sucks. I am just a better cash game player. I think it's because I actually started out playing tournaments, and once I get involved with cash game, and then I play mostly cash game, so I had like maybe over 3 million hands play on online cash games. Those were like before I turned pro, and it just cash game was the game that, you know, I started with $200 and then I made it 50,000 in 1 year. So I kind of just stick to it and always play cash game. And then during the year that I was playing for a living, cash game is just more steady to me. So I play poker for a living, cash game for like almost 4 years, and I only have, I think, 1 or 2 losing months. I think it's 1 losing month, and then the other months like barely break even. So cash game is way more steady compared to tournaments. I know Pete Chen, which is like one of the best tournament players in Asia, and then every time I just hear stories about his tournaments bad beat and tournaments like draw, like it's just really scary. Like he said he would go through like 6 to 800 tournaments and then losing big, which is kind of crazy. Definitely don't want to get involved with that. But I still play tournament for fun, kind of like just on the side, and then hoping to you know, have a big score one day. I did play tons of WSOP event. I think I cash around like 30% of the tournaments I play during WSOP. I will still play some. There's still a couple events left I can play. Definitely gonna play some of the events left. We're gonna barrel this turn because he can have a lot of like gut shot and flush draws. So pocket nines can still be the best hand here. And then you have a jack. He's very unlikely to check raise this turn, so most likely just gonna check call and then check the river. 8 is the pretty good card, I think. Just gonna check back. And then he does have a ace-6 of spades, so he did have a draw. So we're definitely charging the most money we could charge him by barreling the turn. Yeah, so I'm always the cash game guy. Always been that way. Probably always will. But I mean, tournament is still like pretty interesting. Like the deeper you go, and then the stakes are so high, and then every decision is worth like thousands or, you know, tens of thousands of values. That's when tournaments like really exciting. I think we're gonna check raise this flop. we are 3-betting this guy. When he checked the second time, I feel like we are obligated to bet. Feel like he has a lot of small pocket pairs. ICHB, thanks for follow. Narton Dinks, thanks for follow. Vanny Light Poker, thanks for follow. AXF, thanks for follow. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to the stream. We do have a cold call in the blind. Gonna start with a small c-bet here. Don't think he's cold calling with any 6 here. We do just pick up the pot. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my first big tournament score. Maybe it's gonna happen. Maybe it's gonna happen next year's main event. Hopefully. Hopefully. 3-betting huge here with queens. Pretty good flop. He never have aces here, so start with the small c-bet. Actually, we're gonna size up a little bit because we're deeper. In order to get his stack, we have to size up here. And if he had like ace king, we get to stack him. That's pretty nice. But I feel like ace king he probably 4-bets even though we're super deep. Diamond is definitely not a hand we want to see, so we are going for a check here. It's probably like the worst turn, honestly. He does use a smaller sizing. He could have like ace jack, ace king. He could very much be drawing dead. And we are check calling the river. Ace 9. So he was drawing dead on the turn. But his hand like ace 9 suited there is like he's only gonna lose like 2 streets of value. So we are never going to stacking or even getting a 3rd street in. That was the hand he had was a 2-street hand. So the maximum value we're gonna get is 2 streets. So not gonna complain about the result. Better than losing a flush, right? Better than losing to a flush, that's for sure. And here if we bet the turn, I feel like we have to raise because he can have like some ace of club, king of club. Definitely gonna raise him. And we are peeling a flop with ace 7 of spades, and this is a pretty good flop. Thank you for the reply, man. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Welcome to the stream, man. Come chat with me every day at 9 PM when we actually do the stream. River is another club. This kind of suck. I think against this sizing we have to call. It's kind of terrible. Obviously I feel like he has like queen of club here. But $20 we cannot fold. Oh, he had a bolt. Shit. Okay. And we turned the nuts. Just gonna check. I feel like he's gonna only lose 1 more street here if he had like an ace. And we are betting the river. Facing check raise here, it's kind of weird. Like, what hand is he wrapping? Like, does he really have a 6 here? I guess he can, but we're not folding yet. 3-betting with ace 10 suited, and opening 10-9 suited under the gun is a little bit loose, but we can do that once in a while. Why did you stop playing full time? Because I started my own business, and then running a business is definitely better than playing poker. I actually didn't enjoy playing poker for a living that much, honestly. It is definitely something I wouldn't want to go back. I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing that. And then here, when he used a double pot bet, we're just gonna fold. Whatever, if he's like doing this with like a flush draw, good for him. Like, I'm just never gonna go crazy there. And small sleep out here. So playing poker for a living and playing poker for a side hustle or playing poker for fun is definitely different. Like during the 4 years I was professional, I did not enjoy playing poker at all. Like every day just like a grind. Um, Especially like during the time it was right after Black Friday, so there's no online. I basically drove to Commerce every day. I live in LA, so I drove to Commerce every day playing 5, 10, 10, 20 no cap game. Sometimes bicycle. I was the house player for bicycle for almost a year, so play a ton there. But like playing poker for a living is definitely like not enjoyable in my opinion because you have to pay bills with it, like with your poker earning. That kind of sucks actually because even though I was pretty lucky during the 4 years I was playing professionally, I only had one losing month, and then 1 month I was break even. So I was crushing the game, and then I was running pretty good in general. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna last forever. That I'll only have like one losing month out of like 40 months. Like I wouldn't say that, you know, it's always gonna be the case. But like during the years that I played poker for a living, I ran pretty decent, so that always helps. But even that, like I still didn't enjoy the game as much. Like it was like a suffer. Like I feel like it's the same. Every time like you turn a hobby into your job, you kind of lose that hobby, but at the same time like you make the job a little easier to endure. Like when you're actually working, it's not as much of suffering versus like a job that you just absolutely hate to do. I mean, you turn your hobby into a job, like you're gonna enjoy your job a little more, but at the same time, like you lost that interest, you lost that hobby, you know, just because it becomes a job and it's not as enjoyable anymore. So yeah, now I own 3 businesses, and then I play poker on the side. I play whenever I want to, whenever I have time. I do have a family, so I have a 11-month-old son, and then I have a wife. So, you know, family is more important than like poker or like even my business, I would say at the moment. But poker is definitely fun. Like I'm actually really glad that COVID happened because when I probably shouldn't say that, but I probably shouldn't say that. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to say that I'm glad COVID happened, but COVID was the reason why I started streaming, and then COVID was the reason why I got back to online poker and playing like tons of hands. It's just that one day I just feel like if I'm playing a couple hours a day every day, then why not just put on stream and help people who want to take poker seriously in some way, like just by looking at my stream or like, you know, get me for coaching or something like that. Like why don't I just turn this opportunity into a chance to help other people? We are calling one, still beating like ace king here, because I'm pretty sure, because I'm 34 right now, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are like 18, 19, 20, 20, 21, 22, 23 who are interested to play poker for a living, or they want to take shot at poker, and then if my stream helps them in order to be successful, then that's a huge win for me. How much time do you think it's good for a session of cash? What is a good win rate for 200 NL Blitz? We're just gonna fold king queen here. It's a little bit tight, but small blind we are either 3-betting or folding. So I don't think there's a right answer for how much time you think you should be playing per session. I would say like play as long as you are playing optimal and then you are playing a good game. Then I wouldn't bother worrying about like cutting the session short or like it's really about your play. So if you think you're playing pretty well, I mean play as long as you are comfortable with, and then stop whenever you feel like you don't feel like playing, right? So sometimes like you'll be stuck in a session, and that's when you want to grind back and then want to lose last or get back to the winning column. That's when it gets a little bit tricky, right? Because you might not be playing the top of your game. So maybe taking a rest is a better idea. Without much equity, but this is the dry board, and then we do raise on mid position, just gonna c-bet and try to take it down, but we don't. On this turn, it's definitely not a turn card that we want to be barreling. And ace high could be the best hand against like a flush draw. If he bets, we might have to call. Ace 4, chop chop. Oh, yeah, chop chop. Getting check raise here. We do have open this straight draw, so we are definitely continuing. Turn and jack. We are still beating flush draw here after the turn. And in terms of win rates, I think any win rate like 1 BB, 2 BB per 100 is a good win rate. At least you're beating the game. Really want to call here. He should shut down this river a lot if he doesn't have a flush. If he bets, he always 100% have a flush. Because we can have a flush here, so if he bets this river, then he definitely absolutely have to have a flush. And he check, we just check back, I feel like. Or maybe we can turn our hand into a bluff. It's pretty close. We can probably get the king to fold. I think we turn our hand into a bluff. Go for 85. I think king is a fold on the river. If we check back, obviously we can have the best hand sometimes, but most of the time we're just going to be losing to a king here, facing the action the way it goes. Here we are 3-betting. And we are c-betting here. And here with the turn, we are gonna overbet. Not overbet. On this board, we are just gonna use the regular 75% sizing. I'm guessing he has like king queen here. Good thing that he folded, because I don't think I definitely think he has a king there when he tanked. So I guess we turn our hand into a bluff at the right time. And here we can flat. We can we're just gonna double pot this. And here we can flat. We can 4-bet. I mean, we can jam. We can flat. Against him, I will probably just jam since he raised under the gun. 31. Just gonna get it in. He instant folded, so I guess he was just making a play. We are flatting there sometimes, but most of the time still just jamming. Just because if he had like ace king suited, you don't want the flop goes like 5-4 deuce or 5-4-7, and then ace king is just an easy fold. But if you just jam, ace king suited is most likely just gonna call. So that's the downside of like flat calling. If we just flat calling the 4-bet, yes, correct, he did 4-bet, he did raise and 4-bet from under the gun, so his range is like really strong. But at the same time, a lot of ace king offsuit, ace king suited in his range, and if like a flop misses, like if it comes like 3 small cards, we're just not gonna stack him. So there's a downside and upside, whether we flat or just go for a 4-bet jam, 5-bet jam. The advantage of 5-bet jam, obviously, like ace king offsuit and ace king suited might just, you know, get stacked. But if he had like something like pocket tens, and if we just 5-bet jam his folding, but if we just flat and then flop comes like 7 deuce deuce, we are probably gonna get his stack. So that's the advantage of flatting. So it's really about like, you know, what hand he has, and then like obviously we don't know that, so it's kind of like we have to do it based on like frequencies. So in terms of win rate, like 1 or 2 BB per 100 is like decent win rate, and then if you're like over 3, like 3 to 4 BB per 100, you are very good. And then if you are like over 5 BB per 100, then you are definitely crushing. For me, I'm a career 5 BB per 100 player, so I would consider myself a crusher, most likely, but anything over 0 is actually good because at the same time you still get rake back. So I mean, so you get rake back and then you're still winning like, let's say 0.5 BB per 100. That's still decent, right? It's still like maybe you still get like 45 to like $50 per hour in terms of hourly win rate. I cannot read Korean, but hopefully it looks like you want to say hi. Then hello, welcome to the stream. My wife does love Korean dramas, so maybe she's better at reading Korean than me. I'm completely clueless. I think we just give up here. It's okay to give up. The sizing he's using is kind of like, we're just gonna fold. Obviously we can fold there because we're still leading ace king and ace queen, but if he has a better pair, then we are drawing to 2 outers. Definitely not a position we want to be in. Defending with jack 6 suited, playing pretty deep. The right flop can get us a pretty decent pot. We are checking this flop. On this turn, I think we have to start betting a little bit. Not too much, because the board just doesn't connect with him that well. If he has a pair, he's gonna continue. If not, he's folding. Definitely not bluffing this river, because ace high is never folding now. He does have ace high. Here we flop trips, gonna check behind. I notice you are folding a lot of small PP where I'm always calling. Can we small PP? What's small PP? Good luck with your session and thanks for your stream. Vlasip, thanks, and then welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by and say hi. Oh, so small pocket pairs, like you really shouldn't be playing that much small pocket pair, especially early position, because you're just gonna get punished by the regular, depending on who's on the table, obviously. And then especially auto position against good regulars, like small pocket pair just pretty much always negative EV, unless you're playing against like fishes, who's gonna always pay you off when you like flop a set or something like that. But small pocket pair, like in position, you're most likely fold. If you're like button or something, you're never like just cold calling. It's either 3-bet or fold. And then if you just start flat calling like small pocket pair all the time, you're gonna get squeezed a lot, and then you're gonna be like losing tons of money that way. And it's just like for example, like this hand, like facing a really good player raising under the gun. If we flat here, like even if we flop a set, it doesn't guarantee that we're gonna win a big pot. And then if we flat and then this guy has a 11% 3-bet rate, he can just easily just squeeze, and then we're losing our money just basically for free, because we're not supposed to cold call under the gun raise and then like cold call a 3-bet. That's just what fishes do. Any winning player or strong player would never do that. So that's kinda it. Small pocket pair is not the greatest. Obviously it's very easy to play. It's either you flop a set or you fold, right? But at the same time, if you look at your, like for me, because I dig into my stats, right? So like before I always call small pocket pairs, and then just one day like I start going through my stats, and then like just flat calling small pocket pairs in position against a good player, like over time it's negative EV. So if that's the case, then why are we calling in the first place? If let's say over like 100,000 hand sample, and if we're negative EV playing small pocket pair that way or in early position, then what is the point of playing? If you know that that play is not gonna generate you any profit in a long run, might as well just fold it, right? Obviously in smaller games or like less experienced player, they'll always like play small pocket pair because they feel like they can flop a set. But at the same time, like you have to look at, you know, the time that you flop a set, are you gonna get any value for your hand? Because if you don't, like most of the time you're just gonna miss the flop, and then people are just gonna c bet, and then you're just gonna lose the pot, right? So if that's the case, and then it's not profitable playing small pocket pair that way, especially I think specifically against like good regulars who knows how to barrel. Small pocket pair just not really profitable, out of position or early position. But I would never like fold small pocket pair on like cutoff or like button. I'm always opening. But if somebody already raised in front of me, then obviously I'm folding. Because if you just call, then you basically expose yourself to squeezes, and then all like any good player in the blind or good regulars, they're gonna squeeze, and you have to pretty much give up your hand. And if you just 3-bet, which is better in my opinion, if you want to play like pocket fours and then under the gun raise you have pocket four on cutoff or button, I would rather 3-bet than like just calling, right? Here we are folding because big blind 3-bet range against under the gun is super strong, so we're just gonna respect that, and we are 3-betting here. What would be the most important advice you could give to the player who want to become poker pro? First of all, you should at least be a winning player. You should definitely have poker tracker, and you should keep track of your like how well you do in your game, whatever it is. It could be like $2 NL, it could be $10 NL, it could be 25 NL. It doesn't matter. Whatever game you play, make sure you have to track. You have to use a tracker to track your result and see if you're a winning player. And if you are a winning player, like how many sample size you have, how many hands you have played, and is that result sustainable, or is it just because you're running good short term? I would say a good sample size is probably around 500,000 hands. So if you have 5,100 hands and then you're winning, then it's a pretty good indicator saying that you are a winning player, and then you can consider like becoming a pro player. But yeah, definitely get tracker, keep up your stats, always hire a coach. If you want to take it seriously, always hire a coach. Like 1 or 2 hours of coaching is gonna be like so beneficial. With 2 regulars and good regulars, we're not gonna open king 9 off. This is a little bit loose, but we can do it sometimes. Good luck, Mr. Lee. Have a good, nice session. What's up, Pep? 555555. How did you do today? I don't see you in the pool. Are you gonna play anytime soon? Defending with 7-8 off. On this flop, it's an easy fold. We flop not a straight, but we flop top pair. Top pair and open in this straight draw the worst side, so we are starting with a big c-bet here. Hopefully we just take it down. If we get called, like I don't really like our hand. We turn a 7. But I don't feel like we should call here. So yeah, have trackers. Keep track of your winning or losing, and if you're losing, hire a coach, find out why you're losing, and then fix those leaks, and you're just one step closer to becoming a winning player. And once you're a winning player, then you can take a shot of trying to do it for a living and see if you like it. Some people, they just cannot sustain the pressure and then the variances, the up and down of poker. If you can, then definitely do it, because I feel like it's way better than like if you're like early 20s, right? Playing poker professionally is definitely gonna generate way more money versus like a minimum wage job at McDonald's or something, or In-N-Out, or like Starbucks, paying like $15-20 per hour. You can definitely make more playing poker for a living versus those jobs. Pocket nice, mostly 3-betting. We do pick up a gacha on the turn. We're gonna go for a overbet, because he can have like tons of straight draw on this turn. So using an overbet sizing makes sense. But yeah, if you have any question, you know, if you're struggling, or like if you're in the process of becoming a pro and then you have a question, come back to my channel and then just, you know, talk to me in chat, or you can just add me on Discord, and then I'll try to give you as much advice as I can, and hopefully that's gonna help you out. And then you ever need coaching, I'm available for you. At the moment, I'm not sure like how busy I'll be in a little bit, because I've actually been having a little bit too much coaching job, and then I don't get to spend time with my family as much as I would like. Obviously my wife is pretty nice, so she's not complaining so much. So, but if I get more coaching job and I have to stream and then I have like video editing or something, that's something I want to do, just edit like highlights for YouTube, but I just don't have the time to do it. So that's why my YouTube channel has not been updated with like highlight videos, something like that. Just for recreational player, they just prefer to see like highlights and shit like that, versus just stream. You know, stream is for like people who are a little bit more hardcore and then want to get better at the game. I think we can barrel this and then barrel the river again. Thank you so much for the explanation, so helpful. You're welcome, man. Any question? As you guys can see, you can get my Discord on the About Me session, and then you can add me on Discord. We are definitely gonna barrel this turn. And then just, you know, talk to me on Discord if you have any question, and then I'll try my best to answer. Open the straight draw, not the worst, and we rivered an ace. I actually don't think we have the best hand. I feel like he has tons of. Do we blocker bet this, or? It's pretty close. I guess we check. King 10. We got lucky, but we do have tons of outs there. And if he's good, I'm not saying like he's bad, but like he could easily turn his hand into a bluff there on the river when we check it to him. But I guess we are checking ace